I'm gonna do a baitcast finesse flipping showdown. I'm kind of bored. I want to tinker with my stuff, so let's do this. Let me grab everything. I suck. Here's what we're testing in this baitcast finesse flipping showdown. My 610 Shimano SLX mediums. I have the Piscifun Spark Pro and my Shimano MGL. Both are spooled with the exact same line 10-pound test. Both have a 10th ounce Ned head on them and a white TRD. Showed the weights. They were like 6.5 something and 6.7 something total weight plastic and jig head. Aside from the small difference in weight, these are identical. So I'm gonna go see how far I can flip them, how accurately I can flip them. Let's do it. Okay, and we're back. We're gonna continue this. This is like 3 days later because I got out here to do the actual flipping last time and the clouds rolled in, it got dark, it was freezing cold, and the footage was gonna look terrible. So just ate an awesome breakfast. Actually, oh man, check out this pic of the breakfast. Okay, so getting into the flipping, I got the reels tuned. We're gonna flip each of them 5 times at each target, and then I'm gonna talk about the differences of the reels. So I have 3 targets set up. "25 feet, 30 feet, and then 45 feet. So 25 and 30 we're gonna go for accuracy, and then 45 is just a marker for distance. What I'm looking for in the reels isn't as much the accuracy, because that's on me, but it's the distance and how controlled the cast is, right? Do I feel like the spool is controlled and not pulling the bait up when I flip it? Let's do it. All right, first up is the SLX MGL. 5 flips, 25 feet. Solid. 25 feet, 5 flips, Spark Pro. Hit it. That is solid. I love tinkering with this shit. Alright. 5 flips each, 30 feet. SLX MGL. Alright, Spark Pro. Okay, going at the 45-foot can out there. I'm not as worried about accuracy here, just to see if I can get out there, get past it. SLX MGL, let's go 5. All right, Spark Pro. See what it can do. After seeing the results, you may have your opinions, but there are things that happened out there that you cannot see or feel. So that's what I'm going to talk through. Let's start here. Out of the gate, after finishing that, which reel did I prefer? SLX MGL, no doubt about it. If I could have multiples, or if I bought it again, I'd buy this one. But this one's double the price. Actually, mine's a little more than double because it's the JDM version. I had to pay for shipping from Japan, right? So why did I like this better? I'll say this, the SLX MGL did not do everything twice as good. Not even close, right? It didn't flip twice as far, it wasn't twice as accurate, it wasn't twice as controlled. But I could flip a little further, a little easier. I felt like it was a little more controlled, and because of that, it was a hair more accurate. Now the Spark Pro was solid. Like, I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed using it. It was smooth. It was controlled. There were a few flips where I could feel the brake settings pulling the bait up. And I've talked about this, right? My one drawback is I can't dial it as perfectly. So I tend to go slightly higher or tighter on the brakes, which at times, especially with a light bait like the Ned rig, causes, right, where you flip it, it's going out. And if the brakes are pulling on that bait, it pulls it up a little bit. And what I'm looking for is with that light bait, you flip it, spool fires up, and you can feel the spool just releasing that line and the bait's going out straight. So I tried dialing back the brakes on the Spark Pro a little bit to see if I could achieve that. And then I would get a little bit of overrun, right? So that's why I side with being a little bit tighter on the brakes. Now, it flipped fine. It did that Ned rig. That Ned rig wasn't even a 1/4 ounce. With the plastic, it wasn't a 1/4 ounce. So it did it just fine. Could I go out, fish the Ned rig, fish a jerkbait, fish a 3.8 Kitech for smallmouth, all with the same reel? Yep. And I would do it. And I have done it. I've just never gone out and done like a perfectly scientific test like I just did, where there's no human error factors involved at all. So now I know. Okay, so the spool on this MGL, right, even with that light bait, when I would hit that flip, right, I'd do it, you could just feel the spool going and not getting to the point of overrunning and just letting that light bait go straight out. So that's where I side with this one. So the reason I think that I can get this MGL more dialed is because I think it comes down to two things. One is there's 3 mechanisms to control the spool. On the Spark Pro, there's 2, right? There's the tension knob and there's the brakes on the side. So with 3 mechanisms, I think I can dial a little deeper. But I think the bigger difference is the infinity braking system. It's not a clicker, right? It's a dial. It's just a smooth dial. It doesn't click. So that's why it's called the infinity brake system, right? I can move this just the tiniest amount. Spark Pro, clicker, and it's magnetic. So the adjustments, in theory, in my mind, are a little bit bigger of adjustments, right? Each click is a little more brake or a little less brake than this dial. So that's why I think I can dial this a little better. I have a suspicion that the spool is lighter in the SLX. I haven't weighed them. Next time I have the line off both, I'm going to do that, but that's my suspicion. Let's talk tuning. What I mean by that is, like, where did I set the tension, the spool tension knob, how many internal brakes, etc. So normally with bait casters, I kind of set the tension knob to just where I get the side-to-side slack out of the spool. And I leave it, and I do everything else with my brakes. With the MGL, I get the slack out of the spool, the side-to-side play, and I go like, I mean, not a 1/4 turn, not an 1/8 of a turn, just a slight, that much further, that's where I go. I have the internal brakes. There's 4 plastic nubs on the inside, right? That rub that's braking. I use 2 of those. And then I had the external dial actually at 4. And that worked for controlling the spool, still letting it be free enough to let that bait go straight out. That's where I dialed the SLX MGL. Spark Pro, I literally just took the side-to-side play out of the spool. 1 click back, 1 click, yep, and the spool will click back and forth. Now it doesn't. So I took the play out and I ran the brakes. I guess I ran the brakes. I would describe this as a quarter of the way on, right? If that's all the brakes off, it goes all the way around. I was about a quarter of the way on. That gave me enough control flipping that Ned rig to where I could get the distance. It did pull the bait up, as I said, a little bit sometimes, but I wasn't getting the overruns either. I tried this one a couple clicks back. I could flip further, but I got overrun. I tried it with the same brake setting and just a slight, like a click or 2 more on the spool tension knob. It was too much. So that's the happy medium I hit. All in all, in the end, if you're looking to use a bait cast reel as a moderate finesse reel, I don't mean bait finesse where you're throwing like an 1/8 ounce bait, right? That total Ned rig was just shy of a 1/4 ounce. So semi-finesse. If you're looking to use a bait cast setup as a semi-finesse versatile setup the way I am, you could use either of these. If you have the budget, my vote right here, don't even think about it. But if your budget's tight and you want something that's in the same realm, the Spark Pro is good. I mean, every time I've used it, I've been pleased and I enjoy using it, right? And that is very important in my fishing because I don't fish for money, I fish for fun. I enjoy using it. That matters. Now, I enjoy this one more, not gonna lie. But Piscifun, good job. This is a solid reel. All right, thank you for watching my baitcast finesse flipping showdown. Post any questions in the comments. If you disagree with something out there, I definitely want to hear that. Post it. Otherwise, subscribe. It helps me out. Have a good day.